Well, kia ora and welcome to the Harness Half Hour, proudly brought to you by Park Canterbury and HRNZ Marketing. I'm Jess Smith, and this week on the show, we talk to Kyle Marshall following his team's recent run of great form, including a quinella at Alexandra Park and a win at Cambridge last Thursday. Glen Haynes of Fast 10 Horse Racing talks to us about the exciting new quickfire racing concept, which will be held for the first time at Addington on December 20th. Plus, Graham Harris of Park Canterbury talks about the newly launched Addington Owners Card, which is sponsored by Park Canterbury. And bookmaker Richard Wilson is back again with another bookie update. But first, here are this week's headlines. Addington hosted featured Dominion and New Zealand Cup lead-up races last Friday night. Oscar Bonavina and Spankham were both victorious for the Purdon Rasmussen team, picking up the Canterbury Trotting Cup and Canterbury Classic respectively. Oscar Bonavina won by the barest of margins, bombing a game Markula on the line, while Spankham was able to capitalise on a nice trip in the trail to win the Classic. The first of the Macmillan Equine Feed Size Stakes heats were held last week, firstly at Cambridge on Thursday when Copy That was successful for trainer Ray Green, who prepared the quinella in the race, and driver Zachary Butcher. The second heat was held at Addington on Friday, which was won by Above and Beyond for Robert Dunn and was driven to win by John Dunn. And Saturday's Nugget final at Northern Southland was won by One Smart Fella, who was driven by Nathan Williamson for trainer Brent Shirley. One Smart Fella is a 4-year-old by Tintin in America and was having just his second career start. Well, of course, on the podcast, we like to highlight people around the country that are going great guns and doing good things in the industry. And of course, young trainer-driver Kyle Marshall has had a phenomenal start in the past couple of seasons to his training career. Kyle, congratulations on your recent success. 13 wins in the first season. You must be thrilled with that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Wrapped with that. It's pretty much just been a dream come true, really. I've always wanted to train horses, and I'm just lucky to have a few nice horses coming up and a few wins getting out of the way.
Oh, definitely. And of course, I see you had a win last week with Beautiful Stranger. Congratulations. And that, of course, follows on from that wonderful quinella recently. Yeah,
that quinella was a big thrill. I'm still buzzing about that, actually, and wee Beautiful Stranger, she picked up a nice win. We've actually decided to put her in foal now, so she'll go on and be a mother.
Oh, fantastic! And going back to that quinella, to quinella a race anywhere is great, but at Alexandra Park must have been, a massive highlight in your career.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd have a big chance with the draws, but everything played out well, and being at Auckland is extra special. It's good to have those South of the Bombay series as well for those little horses, and just lucky to have the two in there, and they both went well.
Absolutely, and I understand reading an article on the Cambridge Raceway website, Kyle, that all came about through a connection that you actually made in Australia.
Yeah, so Trevor Casey, he owns both of them, and when I was working for Brent Lilly, I was there 18 months, and Trevor had a couple of horses with Brent Lilly, and I was lucky enough to drive a couple, and got talking to Trevor, and sort of kept in contact, and then he decided to send these ones, and I'm just proud that they've won a couple, and they look like they won't be their last sort of wins.
And have you heard from Trevor?
Yeah, he's wrapped with that. He thinks I've done a really good job with the two horses, and
Well, it's not a bad ownership connection to get into, is it?
No, that's right. Trevor has a lot of nice horses going around, and he's a big part to the industry, and he's a great guy, Trevor, and we get along quite good.
Oh, that is great to hear, and hopefully it leads to more horses heading your way, particularly, racing up in Auckland. It's very attractive to send horses to the North Island with the way stakes are up there.
Yeah, the stakes are great, and they sort of have a meeting sort of 3 times a month for those stakes. So yeah, it's a big ups to Auckland Trotting Club, and yeah.
Okay, and so I read that you've got around 14 horses in work at the moment, is that right?
Yes, got 14 in work. It's a good number.
Yeah. And are you open, maybe someone's listening to this now and they've heard the lure of the stakes in the north and they've seen how good you've been going. Are you always open to talking to new clients, Kyle?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, always looking for new horses. You sort of have to have those ones coming through, and yeah, with the Auckland Stakes there, it's good to have horses racing up there as often as you can.
Oh, definitely. And of the team, are there any horses that we should be keeping an eye out for that may be returning to racing or heading into the summer months?
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to this Friday night. I have my 4-year-old trotter, Lady Be Good. She had a couple placings last time in. She ran second in the Oats to Tickle Me Pink. So she gets back. She's in a maiden race on Friday, and yeah, she's going forward quite well, and I think a lot of her. But quite happy with the team I've got. We've got a few that haven't made it to the racetrack. Quite younger horses, but they've shown a lot of promise. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, very exciting times ahead, I'm sure. And if you are wanting to connect with Kyle, don't forget to check out Marshal Racing on Facebook. I notice that you're quite active on social media, Kyle, and keeping the news out there.
Yeah. I try to keep the Facebook page going. It's quite an easy way to keep everyone in the loop with what we're doing. We work quite well together. I got George Wallace, my partner, and my dad helping me with the team we got. So yeah, we get through the 14 quite nicely, and they get well looked after.
Oh, good. Well, it's good you gave them a mention too, because it keeps them happy and keeps it keeps them doing the work for you as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm really lucky to have my dad and George Wallace. They've had a lot of experience in the game, and it's great to have people like that on my side and helping me.
Yep. And going forward, Kyle, I know you'll be taking it season by season, but do you have any goals in the near future that you're hoping to achieve?
Just keep doing what I'm doing. Really, I'm pretty much just living the dream actually, and just keep these winners going, and hopefully pick up a couple big races along the way.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we're really excited to see Lady Be Good back in this week. And as I say, if you're listening to this, make sure you follow Marshal Racing on Facebook. Kyle Marshall, thank you so much for your time and congratulations again.
Thanks very much, Jess. Thank you.
And in social media news headlines now, starting off with New Zealand, check out the HRNZ Facebook page for pre-race interviews and milestones. This week, congratulations go to Chris Wilson, who got his first win as a trainer when Robbins Playboy won at Northern Southland. Also check out the aftermaths from Addington's feature races. From Australia, make sure you check out Harness Racing Victoria on Facebook as they recap the big night last Saturday with interviews from winning connections. They also have regular articles and upcoming events on their page, which may come in handy if you're heading over to Victoria in the next few months. And from the USA, Manchego became the world's fastest trotting mare when winning at the Red Mile in Kentucky over the weekend. For that news, plus all of the highlights from the Lexington sale, including the world's first $1.1 million standardbred yearling, check out DRF Harness on Facebook. We're thrilled to welcome onto the Harness Half Hour this week Glen Haynes, who's one of the owners and founders of Fast 10 Horse Racing. And Glen, thank you so much for your time today, and it's awesome to be able to announce the launch of this brand new racing format. Can you tell us a bit about how it came about?
Yeah, we're pretty excited. My business partner, Tony Russell, and I formulated this plan almost a couple of years ago now. We were sitting down thinking about how we could get people back into harness racing, get the enthusiasts back in and get a new demographic on board as well. So we discussed how cricket had evolved with the invent of one-day cricket and later T20 cricket, and how it has impacted on the test match format as well, and more people have gone to test matches since they brought the shorter format into it. And some of the other sports have done the same thing with shorter versions, actually increasing the numbers attending the longer versions of the game. We were hoping that by inventing a shorter format for harness racing, that will get more people back on course for the longer format as well.
Well, it sounds great, and I understand that you and your team have been doing quite a bit of research around this in advance of launching it on December 20th at Addington.
Yes, we have. It's going to be a normal race day as far as Addington produces it goes, but it's going to be with shorter gaps. So there's going to be 18 and 20-minute gaps between each race. Mm-hmm. So the whole program will commence at 11:52am in the morning and be finished by 2:34. And then there'll be some entertainment on afterwards. But our main goal is to get people interested in the harness racing. That's why the event itself will be evolved around harness racing with 10 races, 10 horses in each race, all over sprint distances, so to make sure that it works well. And just a bit of exciting around racing, new betting packages, and hopefully getting a younger demographic along that haven't been before because it's something new.
And of course, the beauty about this being, Glen, that, December 20th, a lot of people are looking for Christmas options or a social occasion to take part in, and being a Friday will work well as well.
Yes, exactly. We're looking at the work breakups just before Christmas. We'll be putting on packages in the Silks Lounge. I believe Addington already have sold quite a few down on the track side as well. So hopefully we can get a really big crowd along there that will enjoy the entertainment, the fast entertainment, as well as some Christmas cheer.
Fantastic. And of course there's been a lot of support. I know that you guys have canvassed this very carefully around the industry, stipendiary stewards, and how things are going to roll on the day, and everyone seems to be of the same mindset that, hey, we do have to try something different, and a quick fire entertainment option seems to be a great option.
Yes, it does, and like Tony and I are so grateful for the help. The guys at Harness Racing New Zealand, Addington have done everything they can to get us on board there. NZRB, RIU have been awesome. They've said they'll put extra staff on to make sure it flows well, and we've had so much really good feedback from owners and trainers and drivers. They all want it, so now we just need everyone to participate and make it work.
Well, it sounds great, Glen, and of course going forward you guys are going to be frequently addressing any questions, putting out some updates around this exciting event, and you are going to be present at Addington as we get closer to the time, just to chat to people about how it's going to run if they've got any questions around the logistics side of things.
Yes, exactly. We're going to have an information stand outside the stabling area on a couple of nights. It'll be after Cup Week, but leading up to the actual event on the 20th of December. We feel that everyone needs to understand how it's going to work. We hope to choreograph the stabling area so the drivers and the trainers and everyone involved there knows what timings are involved so they can get their horses prepared. I know that the RIU have said there's no problem with going warming up their horses pre-race, a couple of races earlier if they wish. So we just want everyone to get on board so that we don't have any hold-ups and we can get everything running to time.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a fantastic idea. Fast 10 horse racing, and there's hospitality options available. I guess they'll get snaffled up pretty quickly. So, Glen, what's the best way for people to find out about hospitality and also more about Fast 10?
Well, we've got a Facebook page, Fast 10 Horse Racing it's called. Go online there and check it out. There's a lot of information there, and we'll be updating that regularly. And also on the Addington Raceway website, you'll be able to find what sort of packages are available to bring your friends and family and work groups along on the day.
And of course the tagline that you're with is pure racing, pure excitement, pure fun. I think with the nature of people and their entertainment focus nowadays, they do want something short, sharp and exciting, don't they? That's the real theme going forward.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we came up with that phrase because it does encapsulate everything we want to create around this event. But it also, it's going to be a great event on course, but we're going to be judged at the end of the day by how things go for people watching off course. So we're working on getting it streamed live for people so they can watch the whole event just as people would watch a rugby match.
Oh, it sounds amazing. And Glenn, thank you so much for your time today. We're thrilled that it's been launched today. It's out there, Fast 10 horse racing, and there's going to be plenty of conversations going forward about it. Congratulations to you and the team, and I'm sure it's going to be a very positive thing for the industry.
Yeah, thanks, Jess. Really appreciate it.
Park Canterbury is Christchurch's only 24/7 privately owned off-site airport car parking. If you feel strongly about supporting privately owned business, support Park Canterbury. It's only a short drive to the airport and the Park Canterbury free shuttle. So if you want the cheapest parking option around, try Park Canterbury. Call 0800 Park or online at airparkcanterbury.co.nz.
There's always a park for me at Park Canterbury.
Well, of course, many of our listeners are familiar with Graham Harris from Park Canterbury, generous sponsors of the Harness Half Hour and multiple initiatives around the racing industry and racing clubs. But Graham, thank you so much for your time, and it's wonderful to see the initiative launched last week along with Park Canterbury and Addington Raceway for the owner's card.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, Jess, and a great opportunity. It's really exciting, this new initiative that Kieran and the team have come up with at Addington.
And you, of all people, being an owner yourself, would know just how much it means to an owner to be rewarded in this way.
Yeah, look, I've had several people come up to me on the night at the awards and even yesterday when I was at the gas station, believe it or not, and they said to me, they're reiterating, so I can get a drink and, I get my card, and I said, yeah, that's right. And they said, that's fantastic. So I think they're really feeling that, they're getting something themselves, they're being treated, not that they've been ever treated badly, but it makes them feel more valued, It's just it's an added value thing for them,
Exactly, and it's great to see with the card that you don't even have to have a horse in that night. You can still go along and enjoy those privileges.
That's right, Jess. As I said on the night, as long as you've started a horse at Addington, you get your card. A lot of questions I've been asked is what happens if there's 200 people in a syndicate. I've said, well, you'll all get a card, and you can go there and get into the stables. And the big thing for me was talking with Kieran was you don't want to rush in on the night and try and get a stable pass and all the rest of it. You've got this card, and you're good to go.
Exactly, and of course there will be exceptions naturally around the likes of Cup Day, which is gigantic for the club logistically, and I guess people understand that, but owners these days, they don't actually want much, except they just want to know that they matter and that they are respected by the clubs.
You've absolutely hit it on the head, Jess, and having a permanent pass, look, we're sponsoring it for 3 years. Addington's really, it's an amazing opportunity that we've come up with together, and credit to Kieran, I must say. Kieran is such a great person to have in that marketing role at Addington, and she tries to put things together like this that are just supreme ideas that she's come up with, and I really want to give her credit for that. She's fantastic.
Oh, exactly, and I know that the CEO there at Addington Raceway, Brian Thompson's been very pro owners' rewards and looking after owners too, so it's really nice to see everyone there getting behind the owners and just changing that mindset that, you're not giving away drinks, you're actually bringing people to the track, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right, and I think in this day and age we have to get more people back to the track, and harness racing has its challenges, but we've got to look positively and look forward and look at ways we can do things differently. And I saw the interview with the CEO the other night from Addington. I thought it was really good, it was really positive, and I think there's a lot of great things happening. We've always tried to obviously support Addington. This is a biggie for us, and all we ask that people remember us when they're parking. Obviously, the more business we can get in, the more we can put into the owners in the track at Addington. It's got to come from somewhere, or other to make it work. Yeah,
exactly. And as you say, you've put in a lot on with Addington, with the likes of sponsoring the big screen there, which has been in the news a lot recently with the new e-games initiative at Addington, and also getting behind the Dominion this year.
Yeah, that's right. The Dominion's a new one for us. We've obviously signed on with this owner's pass and the Dominion for the next 3 years. We're committed to Addington. I love my horses, as you know, Jess. I don't have any massive superstars in the stable, but I just want people to realise that if you want to get involved, even if you've got a 5% share, a 10% share, there's people like yourselves that can guide people in the right way. It's not about the money. Just go and have some fun and feel the vibe when you come to Addington. It's just amazing.
Exactly, and speaking of feeling the fun, we've got to thank Air Park as well, because the other side of your business is, of course, limousines and corporate cars and feeling a bit flash, and you guys generously donated a limousine for our delegates to head to the awards in, and that made trackside television. So, you know, if someone's wanting to treat themselves, they've got a function coming up, then using that beautiful stretch limo can be a point of difference, can't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something different. The Cup Day's coming up. I know that the bookings are pretty heavy for Cup Day, but, you know, if you've got a need for a chauffeur car or a limo, just give us a call and we'll sort it out for you.
Fantastic. Well, Graham, thank you so much, not only for your time today, but for your ongoing support of the industry, and looking forward to hearing more positive feedback, of course, around that owner's card.
It's an absolute pleasure, Jess, and thank you for the opportunity of putting it out there on the Harness Half Hour.
Hi, Razor here from Canterbury Rugby. When you need airport parking, choose a team that's on the ball. Meet at Park Canterbury and get their free Mercedes shuttle to drop you right off at the terminal. Park Canterbury have the cheapest 24/7 airport parking, and you'll never get left on the sidelines. Give Park Canterbury a try. airparkcanterbury.co.nz.
There's always a park for me at Park Canterbury.
Of course, at this time of the podcast, every week it's a pleasure to chat to Richard Wilson, of course, bookmaker. And of course, we go through the wins and losses of the week. And Richard, what was the week like for you and the team last week?
Yeah, it was a pretty solid week for us, Jess. There was quite a few big bombs that we had to dodge along the way, but we managed to get round more than that exploded in our face. So it was quite a good week.
Well, that is good to know. Okay, so we'll start off with Thursday night at Cambridge. How are things there?
Yeah, good meeting for punters there Thursday night. One race in particular was very good. Race 8 there, the Hulk, opened at $5, closed at $3.40, so a big move there. 500 on at $4.50, 600 at $3.80, $1,000 bets at both $3.60 and $3.40 were the largest, but there were 453 individual bets in that win book, and they totaled almost $17,000, so very well back there, the Hulk. Other useful collects on the night came from 2,000 on Copy That at 2.30 and 1,000 at 2.20. There was 1,800 on the Empress at 2.60, 890 on Harvey Spectre to run the top three at 3.50, 590 on Some Do at 3.10, and there was 600 on Beautiful Stranger at 3.70. And there wasn't really much going our way, but a couple that did were 1,000 on Presidential Jewel at 5, 8,900 on Lindy Lincoln at 4.60.
Okay, and of course it was a feature night of harness racing at Addington on Friday, but looked as though there were a few highs and lows for you guys.
Yes, indeed. Quite a lot of action there, and the pivotal race there, race 9, Lone Star Lad, very heavily backed again. I think we mentioned it last week or 2 weeks ago at his last start. A couple of $500 bets at 3.20, 4,250 at 2.80, a couple of $1,200 bets and $2,000 bets at 2.60. $1,000 and $2,000 bets at 2.50. So the liability on him was over 30,000, and thankfully Monrika got the break at the top of the straight, managed to cling on, and that nose win was one of the smallest nose wins I've ever seen, I think. But it was very much welcomed by us at Petone. Plenty of big bets got home in other races though. There was 8,000 on Grand Chico early on at 2.40, 1,100 above and beyond at 8. $500 bets on him also at 7 and 6.50. There was 10,000 on Flying Even Better at $1.50, 3,000 and $1,800 on Spankum at 1.35, 4,000 on Need You Now at $1.90, 2,000 and $1,800 bets at 1.80 also on Need You Now. A couple of big misses there on the night. Matua Tana, 3,000 at 2.50, 2.5 and $2,000 bets at 2.30, 1,500 at 2.20. Early gallop there, costly. Aquasanta, there was 1,500 on at 2.40, 1,200 and 1,000 and 950, all at 2.20. And Sunday Sun, very well backed in the Canterbury Park
Trotting Cup, $1,000 and a couple of $500 bets, and a $2,750 bet at $3.20, a couple of $1,000 bets also at $3.10, and Koenigsegg, in the last, there was $8,000 on there at $1.55, $2,000 and $3,000 at $1.45, and $2,600 at $1.40.
Yeah, some extremely competitive races there, as you said, and thrilling finishes to the night as well. And of course, it didn't end there, because on Saturday we had to head down to Invercargill, North and Southland. Yeah,
a very even day there. Punters and bookies having their turn, race for race, really. Punters were on to Tierra the Christian, $1,000 and $500 bets on there at $4.60, the largest of many bets on him. 500 on Robbie Royale at $7.50 was good. 2,000 on Robbins Playboy at $1.45. $250 on Dismara at 11. Good returns there. The biggest miss of the day came on Willison in race 8. $1,000 and $4,000 bets at $1.80. 3,000 at $1.70. 1,000 and another 3,000 at $1.60. All missed the mark. There was 3,500 on Tall Poppy at $2.20. And the other one that missed, 2,000 on Eddie Jacker at $3.60.
Okay, and from North and South, and we headed up the road to Timaru on Sunday. Was it much better there for you?
It was a little bit better, yeah. We mentioned last week Patronus Star, very heavily backed at Mott, and ran third on debut last week. He improved a bit and managed to cling on for a game win there on Sunday. 450, 500, 600 and a $1,500 bet on him, all at the 370. Good returns there. Other good returns came from 2,000 on BD Yosathon at $2, 2,000 on Shiza Bromac at $1.55, 3,000 at $1.45. There was 12,000 on Cloud9 to run the top three at $1.50. $500 bets on Giselle at both $5.50 and $4.60, and there was a $1,500 place bet on Opawa Mac at $3.30. Three big misses on the day though, really. Cloud9, heavily backed in the Patronus Star race, got very close but not close enough for the punters. 5,000 at $3.50, 2,000 at $3.40, 3,000 and 2,650 all at $3.10. Chevron Flies attracted 7,000 at $2.80, 4,000 at both $2.70 and $2.50, 1,000 at $2.40, 1,500 at $2.30. So very heavily backed Chevron Flies. And the other one, El Dorado, there was 2,000 on there at $4, 8,000 to run the top three at $1.65, $1,000 and $500 bets at $3.50, and a $2,500 bet at $3.30.
Yeah, good to see plenty of action though. Unfortunately for that punter, not coming through, but I'm sure they'll go again. Now, multi of the week, you do find something for us each time around. Richard, what have you lined up this time?
Yep, they got us there. This one, $15 three-leg multi at Invercargill, Alpine Retreat $4.80, Pembroke Playboy also at $4.80, and Tri-Royale Brigade at $12. So that $15 bet turned into $4,147.
Beautiful, loving that punter's work. And worst cash-out option of the week. These ones always hurt.
Yes, indeed. This one, $4,000 on Patronus Star at $3.20. Would have returned $12,800, but cashed out for $3,800 before race 6 there on Sunday.
Oh, ouch. Okay, so they'll go again too, hopefully. In futures markets, of course, with the size stakes underway, we'll be looking forward to the rest of those heats upcoming, but you do have those feature races out. How are they looking in those markets now?
Yeah, well, Oscar Bonavina now the clear favourite, $1.95 in most of the trot futures markets. He galloped away on Friday night, but the recovery was huge. Got up in the shadows and won the race. So when he was possibly written off early on, but so he's a $1.95 favourite in most of those trots, as I say. Sunday Sun around the 260, 250 mark against him, and so it's gone from looking a even two-horse race to it's getting a bit more one-sided now. Spankum's also moved in slightly. He's the $2.30 favourite to win the Cup. And our option, we've got a special option there, Jess. How many wins will Mark Purden and Natalie Rasmussen, how many Group 1 wins will they train? There was a $1,000 bet on that at, I think it was $1.84 or 83 or something, for them to win more than 8.5. So a dead heat win will count as one win, but a maximum of one win per Group 1 race. There's 12 Group 1s between now and the end of December, so over 8.5. If you think that's the go, get on that one, or you can have the other side, of course, under 8.5. So interest there in that.
Okay, so that's on tab.co.nz, and yeah, interesting to see those types of options available. Well done to you and the team for thinking outside the square, and a busy week ahead. Of course, we've got grass racing on Sunday, but busy enough before that.
Yep, Addington, another Thursday night for them. That looks a good meeting. Auckland, we've got the Holmes DG, another quite big field there for the open class horses there, so that's good on Friday night. Gore on Saturday, and Methven, hopefully this time, fingers crossed, go on Sunday.
Yeah, we're not going to curse them at all with that weather. Hey, Richard, thank you so much as always. Really appreciate your time.
Yep, not a problem, Jess. Very good.
And coming up harness racing wise this week, Thursday night, we've got Addington and Christchurch taking centre stage for a Thursday night meeting. Friday night, we're at Alexandra Park with the feature race, the Holmes DG. On Saturday, we're down to Gore, and Sunday, Methven will take place at Mount Harding Racecourse. Of course, the feature race there, the Methven Cup. And that's it for this week's Harness Half Hour. Thanks to Park Canterbury and HRNZ Marketing. Don't forget the Harness Half Hour podcast is available via the HRNZ website, the HRNZ Facebook page, on the Punters Lounge on tab.co.nz, but you can also find us on Spotify and iTunes.